Let's address this conflict between Makhachev Nurmagomedov and Ilia Topuria currently. Okay, I will start by discussing the topic which is kind of circulating on the internet, that Ilia Topuria mentioned that he would fight and beat Khabib Nurmagomedov. He did that interview in Georgian. When I watched it, he approached that topic very hypothetically and also very respectfully. Okay, it was very hypothetical questions like, who would you want to fight and who would you want to beat throughout the history kind of question. It's like somebody saying that, okay, I want to beat Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson or somebody like that. That's my dream fight. That's never going to happen. It was almost like that. It was not like, I'm calling you out, Khabib, come out, we need to fight. It was not like that. It was a hypothetical question, if anything, that should be taken by Khabib's team, I would say, as an honor that, okay, this is one of the names that he would love to fight and perhaps beat. Right, as a fighter, that's what you do. You fight people and you want to beat them. Everybody has that ambition. Nobody wants to go into the fight and lose to anybody, even if they're legends, right?
Why not me versus George St. Pierre? Like if I beat Conor or if I beat George St. Pierre, which one is better for my legacy? Maybe for money is Conor, but for legacy is George St. Pierre.
So as we have that out of the way, I will not be getting into that subject and breaking down that fight because it's a fantasy fight. We know that Khabib is retired and most likely he's not coming back. And if he ever comes back, then we'll touch that subject. So that's more like a dream fight that he mentioned that he would like to have, and he believes that he would win. Again, I'm not touching that subject on any level, whether he has a chance or he doesn't have a chance. And I think we should not make anything out of that it doesn't deserve to be. Okay, just a hypothetical situation. That's about it. So another type of fire that we have in that relationship is between Makhachev personally and Ilia Topuria personally as well. So when Ilia was fighting Alexander Volkanovski, exactly in the moment after the first round, Makhachev wrote 1-0 Volk, so that he mentioned that he was watching the fight. And after Ilia got the knockout and got the belt, Makhachev quickly then tweeted that Volkanovski will forever be a featherweight GOAT or whatever. And obviously Makhachev is kind of invested in that fight because he had both of his defenses against Volkanovski, and one of those fights some people felt he lost. So he's invested in that. And at the end he congratulated Ilia Topuria for his win and used the word Bijo. Bijo, this is how he wrote it, with the Russian letters. Okay, it's a Georgian word. Georgian is not written in Russian. Obviously he doesn't know Georgian, so that's acceptable. But Bijo is like calling a guy, like congratulations, boy, a guy. It's a commonly used phrase between friends in Georgia, but that's not something you would call somebody you don't have a relationship with. It may be taken as a little bit of a disrespect. And this is probably in the package how Ilia took all of that, and he replied with very Georgian type of deal, like Bijom Gircho. It means like, I don't even know how to translate that.
Wow! Out of nowhere. Unbelievable. And that was a good stoppage by Martins. Look at this perfect.
That's almost impossible to translate, but it's like Bijo did you in or something like that. So the guy did you in, or guy did it to you, or something like that. So it's he actually meant it to go back at Islam for those comments, which he obviously did not probably fully enjoy. Probably Ilia was not hugely disrespected, but he also jumped on the chance to get back at Makhachev, who was clearly rooting for Alexander Volkanovski for whatever reason. I mean, that's how it at least felt to me, and probably felt the same to Ilia as well. Okay, so that's a fight we can little bit touch on, because that fight can happen. I mean, it's not impossible for it to happen. Yeah, we got one guy champion of lightweight and one guy champion of featherweight, so they're like one division above or below each other, how you want to look at it. So that fight can definitely be materialized, as we saw with Volk and Makhachev, and we can discuss it. It's not a fantasy fight. I've heard a lot of comments about Makhachev being too big, too strong, etc. Okay, obviously, if that fight was set today, even though I would be going for Ilia for obvious reasons, you would have to make Makhachev favorite. Okay, just on paper, same way in a way that Volkanovski was on paper the favorite, even the Vegas could not make him underdog, even though they might have had the feeling that Ilia was probably going to win. And I don't know, but he was a slight favorite, as I recall, and you would have to do that, right? So with Makhachev, it would have to be the same. He would have to be the favorite. Again, I'm not an odds maker, so I don't decide exactly how big of a favorite. But to discuss the fight, to say that Makhachev is too big. He's big, okay, he's a big lightweight. But we have seen him fight Volkanovski. So just on that alone, you cannot discount Ilia to lose the fight. I know styles make fights. I know MMA math doesn't work. But there's no huge hole that we see in Ilia's preparation or in Ilia's skill or in Ilia's preparation that allows us to say that, okay, I mean, yeah, he knocked out Volk, but there's this huge gap which Makhachev will exploit. No. If anything, a lot of people understand that he's a very high-level wrestler, especially if he prepares for a camp, in a camp for a fight against a guy like Makhachev, and we know that he's developing in general, even outside of the camp and person-specific fights, he's developing anyway, and he has a very high level of grappling. So if Volk did enough to survive on the ground and get up and not get caught into domination or submissions or anything like that, I mean, who's to say that Ilia cannot do that? Again, I'm not saying that that's the fight that should happen next. It's not, for many reasons. I like to, just on a personal level, I would like to see Ilia defend the belt, okay, grow physically a bit, naturally grow, not to gain weight by eating too much or anything like that, grow a bit older. When he's around 30 years old, okay, and he's kind of reached his peak in growth, then he could fight whoever is the lightweight champion, whether it's Makhachev or somebody else. I mean, he could move up and go for that double gold status. And as a purist as well, I usually like the guys to defend the belt several times. Personally, I think you should be kind of at least clean out the division, right? Fight all the guys in the top 5 who are available at the time, beat them, and when there are no known threats or challenges around that people are super excited about, then you move up and fight the next weight champion if you wish to do so, right? Some people didn't wish to do so, as we know, and they retired. Okay, to look at this fight between Topuria and Makhachev, a potential matchup on the technical side, I would say that just pure wrestling wise, because of the size mostly, you would have to give it to Makhachev at this point. Okay, if it happened today, right? If it happened today, because we don't know what the future holds, and we would have to do a separate analysis down the line. But if it happened today, with both fighters being in top shape, you would have to give it to the wrestling part to Makhachev, and the striking part. Obviously, it's an interesting matchup. Makhachev uses kicks better than Topuria, especially the high kicks, but Topuria has insane power in his hands, and Makhachev has been knocked out in the past, and he has been hurt in the fights before as well. Not only that, but he has much better boxing technique, in my opinion. So it's not out of the question that Topuria can land the shot and knock him out, and to say that, oh, he doesn't have the power to do the same in lightweights, it's not the case. He has dropped dead one of the lightweights in the past in the UFC, and we know that for a fact. Okay, yeah, you may say that, oh, he's not Makhachev, but he's a lightweight, and the chin-wise, we don't know if he's any worse than Makhachev. If that fight actually materializes anytime in the future, then we'll do a more thorough breakdown and we'll look at the film, and obviously I'll need to have a clear breakdown. I understand both fighters pretty well, but obviously if you do a more thorough breakdown, you need to go back and watch the film and kind of see where the fight may actually go. Both fighters are from Caucasus region, okay, Georgia and Dagestan. Obviously Dagestan is not a country, it's a region of Russia, but it's a republic, and Georgia is a country, and it's a neighboring region to Georgia, Dagestan. And there are some cultural similarities between the people, and there are some historic connections as well. So obviously in general it's not great when something like that happens, but it's sports, it's nothing too serious. It's not like something outside of the octagon is happening. It's a competitive nature. Obviously Dagestan was one of the first driving forces from Caucasus in the UFC and in MMA, and now like Georgia has also arrived slowly, and it's a miracle that it has done so, because the scene here in Georgia is not as developed as in some of the other countries, just not. It's slowly picking up now, and a lot of the fighters, Georgia fighters, they had to leave the country and go train to other places in order to reach a certain level. Okay, and we see that also with Merab Dvalishvili, who was a good material, who is genetically probably gifted to some level, but he also put some immense hard work and dedication, and then he also took a lot of risk going into a foreign country with no knowledge of language, etc. So this kind of leads me to a next type of I don't know what to call it. It's not really beef, but it's like a back and forth between the athletes for some reason, also from the Nurmagomedov's team.
Example, Merab talk about this. Merab, how I'm gonna beat somebody if they not approve it?
In all fairness, he had a shot against a top contender, and a victory over him would catapult him into the title picture, no doubt, especially a dominant win. And I totally understand that injuries happen, but at the end of the day, he's the one who pulled out of the fight last time around. Umar is calling out Merab for a while now, and I don't fully understand why, to be honest with you. Out of all the options that's available, why would you be calling out Merab, especially when you have title aspirations in the future and you believe probably that you can beat anybody? I mean, you don't have to call him out, and he would have to be probably very silly to fight any number. Now I don't know, what is he, like 13 or 14 ranked guy in the division. Obviously he carries the last name and he's a very skilled fighter, but doesn't matter. Okay, even if Merab believed that that's a good fight for him, why would he take that fight? And same way he should, Umar should look at it that way, that why would Merab take that fight, and why would I be calling out Merab? If anything, then you should be just aiming for the champion straight up, whether it's O'Malley or before Sterling. Why would you be necessarily calling out Merab, and why would you be going after him when also he's from the same region as you are, okay, and he's paved his way and he's reached the level where he deserves his title shot probably quite a while now. Okay, it's not that okay. After the last fight, he earned it. I mean, he probably earned it before, but now he actually put a stamp on it. There is no denying that. Okay, and he has been also promised from the UFC that he will get his shot, and most likely he will. So I mean, that's not even a conversation right now Umar should be having. At the moment, he has a very tough fight set, and he should fight anybody from the top 10, I believe. After that, if he wins, obviously, where he's favorite, and he should be favorite for a lot of different reasons. And it's his fight to lose, basically. So after that, if he moves past his current opponent and then gets a fight against top 10 guy and dominates there, then you know that he will most likely be in the title contention and conversation. After that, may get a top 5 win, and who knows, title shot might be next, and whoever it is, whether it's Merab or somebody else holding the title at the time, he'll get it. And I'm sure if it's Merab, he will not deny him his fight. I mean, Merab is not scared of anybody, and he has shown so much against the top guys lately. Nobody has done to Cejudo what Merab did. In one of the interviews, Umar mentioned that Cejudo was not the same guy, and if he was the same guy as in the past, Merab would pretty much have no shot against him, which is quite a big statement, to be honest with you, because I mean, Cejudo may not have been exactly the same guy as he was in the past, but clearly he was not a washed up fighter. We saw that in the first round of the fight, and we also saw that in the title fight he got coming right back from his retirement against Aljamain Sterling. Okay, it was a close fight, it was a good fight. Obviously, in my opinion at least, Aljamain won that fight, but it was a tough fight for him, and he showed a lot of promise, especially it being the first fight back, so you would only expect him to have a better performance against the next guy, but that was not the case. So you may have to attribute it to more Merab than the decline of Cejudo. That's just how it is, okay? You fight people at a certain point in their career, and you beat them at a certain point. So Merab got the fight against Cejudo when he got the fight, and he did what he did, and nobody has done that to him probably ever. Maybe not even in a wrestling career. Nobody has completely destroyed Henry Cejudo, who admits as much as well, that was like not something he expected. So for Umar to think that Merab is a great fight, I'm not sure about that, but even if it was a great fight, you didn't earn to fight him yet. You need to win the fights once you deserve it, and if Merab is still there, he will not deny you the fight. Please let me know your thoughts about the situation, about the potential matchups, and about my comments and breakdown of the situation.